What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Soul Vice. Thank you for joining me once again. Hope you guys are doing well. Today we're taking a look at the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 V2 in the Zyon colorway. So if you've been to the channel before, you already know how this is gonna go. I'm gonna give you an in-depth review on these. I'll let you know exactly what I think about them, and I'm gonna give you all the details I think you need to know before you decide whether or not this is a shoe you wanna cop for yourself. And as always, you're gonna be getting the best 4K on-feet footage you can find of these on YouTube. Now, if you haven't been here before, first of all, I wanna say welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. I would appreciate it even more if you end up liking this video, you drop me a thumbs up. And if you're somebody who likes sneakers, you like reviews of sneakers on feet and B-roll of sneakers, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also hit the notification bell. That way you're notified when I post new videos. I'm on my way to my next milestone, which is 1,250 subscribers. So if you could help me out and get there, I would really appreciate that. One last thing before we get to the review. On every single one of my reviews, you can always check down in the description. I'm gonna have timestamps for every single individual part of this review. So if you're looking for something specific, you just wanna know about the sizing or the materials or the comfort, whatever you're looking for, just check the description. I'm gonna have it all timestamped out so you can get what you're looking for and get out. But if you're like me, somebody who likes to just sit back, relax, and enjoy the review, you're always welcome to do that as well. All right, so the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 V2 in the Zyon colorway. These originally released back on July 18th for $220 US. It's July 27th today as I'm recording this, and I just got these in the mail today because Adidas is still slow as hell with their shipping. I don't know what's going on over there, but just keep in mind, if you're ordering from Adidas right now, you're probably gonna be waiting for about a week, at least a week, to get your pair in the mail. So just keep that in mind. Hopefully they're back up to normal sometime in the near future, but that's what we've got to deal with right now. Now, when I originally saw photos of these, I was actually kind of excited to get these in hand and do a review of them, just because even though they're kind of from the same color palette that it seems Yeezy's been using for like the last 20 years, it feels like, they are a little bit different. And there's some key differences that I think kind of separate these from the other brown and tan and gray and earth tone Yeezy 350s, Yeezys of every variety at this point. So I do actually like these, and I'm gonna get into that here in the review. Now, these come with the same 350 box that every other 350 comes with, so I'm not gonna bore you with that. However, there was this little card that came in the packaging that I have never seen with a 350 V2 or any other shoe for that matter. Now, down in the comments, let me know if you've seen this card before, but again, I've never seen it. So it's got a whole bunch of different languages, and I'm assuming they all say the same thing, but it says a special knitting process creates a one-of-a-kind prime knit upper for every pair, ensuring nobody else has one just like these. So it seems like, and I can kind of tell you just from looking at these, the knitting process, or at least the patterns and things like that, are quite a bit different on these than I've seen on other 350s. So I thought that was pretty cool that they've kind of went out of their way to make sure that your pair is unique to you and nobody else has anything like it. Now, speaking of those differences, let's go ahead and talk about the materials used here on the 350 V2. So again, prime knit upper on these. Now, the prime knit here, like I said, is different than what I've seen. It's similar in some ways, but there's certain things on these that I haven't seen before on 350 V2s. Probably the most noticeable is on the inner side on the prime knit here. You've got like a big kind of like block or rectangle of this kind of like dark knit. I don't know if this is like a brown. It's almost like a reddish brown. I actually really like the tone that they use for the brown on these. But you've got this kind of like big singular block, and then you can see the pattern changes around the lace loops or the eyelets where the laces come out of the prime knit. So it's kind of like pronouncing those eyelets, and I've never seen that before on the 350 V2. It does that a little bit more on the outer side, but it's not quite as much as on the inner side of the shoe. So I thought that was really interesting. Now, obviously, I don't have another pair of these with me to kind of like compare and kind of show how different they are from every other pair of Zyons. But just based on the fact that like there's different patterns and shapes within the prime knit on these, I would say it's probably kind of like true to what the card says. You're gonna get a different pair every single time. And anytime you can add a kind of characteristic of uniqueness, if that's a word, I always am a fan of that. Anything that will kind of make it feel a little bit more personal, that's always a good thing in my opinion. A trend that I've been noticing with the 350 V2 is that they've been playing around with this center stitch in the prime knit here. When these first came out, you had those big cross stitches that you really could not miss. Like they were just a really standout signature feature of a 350 V2. And then I wanna say on the sage green pair that came out a little bit ago, they flipped the stitching, so it was on the underside of the prime knit. So you just had a seam here without any stitching whatsoever. And then on this pair, you do have a stitch here, but it's kind of like a flush, like tighter knit stitching, if that makes sense. I'll get a close up of that for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. I don't know if I'm a fan of this stitching, to be honest with you. I think I either like having the big cross stitches or no stitching at all. I think either one of those is a little bit more unique, a little bit different. This, I don't know, to me it looks weird. It just looks like a shoe got flipped inside out. I'm not a huge fan of it. Another signature detail that we've had on 350 V2s for a long time also is this clear stripe down the side. So that remains on this pair as well. Now, as far as the sole technology goes on these, it is business as usual with every other 350 V2. You've got your full length Boost midsole, and it is enclosed in this ribbed rubber. You've got like a light or like cream midsole area, and then your outsole is this light gum. I do like the light gum outsoles that they do a lot of times on 350 V2s. It's just a very subtle contrast with the rest of the shoe that I think usually looks good. Every once in a while, they'll do a gum sole that I think was a little bit misplaced, but I really, really like it on this pair. Now, my biggest question with 350 V2s is always, how are they gonna fit? Because I've purchased my true to size before and they were like an entire size too small. I've gone true to size before and they fit great. And I used to think that that was like the old Yeezy 350 V2s, like the Zebras, and that first batch were gonna be small, but then I think they finally got it right with the clay 350 V2s, and then I had the triple blacks and those were also correct. But then I just got that sage green pair to review and those were like a half size too small. So they're all over the place. But thankfully these are true to size, at least for me. I got true to size and I think they fit great. They might be a tiny, tiny bit snug though. So if you're somebody with wide feet, maybe go half size up then. But I think for most people, true to size is gonna be fine. If you do end up getting these and they are a little bit too snug, you can always pull out the midsole and they'll be pretty much a half size up at that point. So that's gonna bring us to the comfort of these. And I will say that these are pretty much just like every other 350 V2. So if you've had a pair, you know they are comfortable. If you haven't had a pair, they are comfortable. The only thing I can say is they're probably not quite as comfortable as an Ultra Boost. Those are a little bit more boosty, if you will. These with the encapsulated Boost midsole, they're not quite as bouncy, but they're still super comfortable. So if you're somebody who likes stretchy prime knit uppers and Boost midsoles, these are always gonna be a good option. Now, if you do wanna cop these for yourself, I am gonna include down in the description a couple of links to where you can get these on the resale market. I wanna say they're probably going for right around $80 or $100 over that $220 retail price, which if you're somebody who really, really likes 350 V2s and you need another pair of earth tone 350 V2s, I would say these are probably the best out of that kind of color palette. So that's not a horrible price if you really want to cop these for yourself. All right, guys, down in the description, let me know, did you already cop these? Do you plan on copying them? If you haven't already, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.